Tonight on Business Live, government urged to further cut its expenditure to immediately avert the sharp depreciation of the city.
Expecting a statement like from the president or from Minister of Finance, trying to tell all ministries, whether ministers or civil servants, not to buy any new vehicle.
Also, Ghana backed a little over $2.84 billion in non-traditional exports in 2020, despite the impact of COVID-19 on global trade. Plus, analysts call for an audit of annual budget funding amount from the Petroleum Fund after 10 years of oil production. We'll hear from the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC.
The challenge with it is that how sustainable is this? Looking at the volatile nature of the petroleum revenue and the fact that we only have 3 producing fields now which are already hitting their peak.
We have all these stories and more coming up shortly. This evening, economist Professor William Barrack is pushing for more aggressive cuts in government expenditure to address the sharp depreciation of the cedi. The local currency had depreciated by more than 7% for the first 2 months of this year. There are fears that the situation could worsen if tougher measures are not implemented to improve the fiscal economy. Speaking to Joy Business, Professor Barrack said that one of the surest ways to help
central bank intervene. Will the central bank intervene and deplete our reserves? That is an option that we may not want to go there. So I think it should start from the fiscal side. So if you look at our current expenditure components, we have our compensation, which takes about 56%, and then we also have our, the debt service, which is quite high, and then earmark funds. Now, in that case, if you have about 144% of your tax revenue into these 3 areas, then how do you go about it? I think the first thing to be done is government trying to demonstrate that they are committed. They know that there are challenges, and therefore government is committed to bring down the expenditure on their side. I am expecting a statement like from the president or from Minister of Finance trying to make new vehicle for any office holder. When you do that, it means you are doing 2 things. 1, you are trying to reduce your expenditure, and 2, the importation of these vehicles will also send signals to the public that you are committed to doing this. Then there are other things that government will need to look at, very tough measures. Social intervention that government rolled out since 2017 are very good. And I think it is high time government rethink about some of these social interventions and reserve some kind of money and reduce the pressure on the fiscal arm of economic management. And maybe it is difficult to mention free senior high. I think government need to review that and then or support for the needy, while those who can afford will continue to pay. And in that case, government will be able to free out some resources for other areas.
Now, Ghana backed a little over $2.84 billion in non-traditional exports in 2020, despite the impact of COVID on global trade. According to the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, GEPA, this is a decline of 1.84% over that period of 2019. We have more in this report.
Described as relatively good, the non-traditional exports constituted 19.67% of total exports in 2020. The fall was due to a downward trend in the performed tuna. Total export also fell steeply, relatively to a gentle fall in non-traditional exports during the period under review. Meanwhile, the top 10 leading products of the entire non-traditional sector, as well as the top 10 leading products of the processed, agricultural and arts and crafts subsectors, showed increases in performance. According to the Ghana Exports Promotion Authority, these positive growth figures associated with the sector relative to traditional sector exhibits buoyancy of the non-traditional export sector. Over the last 5 years, Ghana's non-traditional exports grew at an annual average rate of 2.55%.
Deputy Minister of Energy, Dr. Mohanty, that the European Union has banned on the exportation of agricultural produce, and that they would affect because Ghana will be affected because of the use of some agricultural practices that are associated with deforestation. Speaking at the Northern Regional Stakeholder Forum on Energy Transition, the minister said Ghana's cocoa would be affected.
The stakeholder forum was to seek views of residents on greener energy already. Speaking at the forum, the Deputy Minister for Energy, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, said there was the need for Ghana to prepare ahead of the transition.
Over the last 20 years, all new cars manufactured in Norway, 65% of new cars manufactured in Norway are electric cars. 65%. So if we don't plan and prepare, the decisions have already affected us. For example, European Union is passing a law that will stop the importation of some agricultural produce that are coming from agricultural practices, and there are 10 top countries that are going to be affected, and Ghana and Ivory Coast are 2 of those countries. They will ban the importation of cocoa from Ghana. They will ban the importation of palm oil from Ghana because they have considered them to have effects on the environment because of deforestation. So ladies and gentlemen, over the last 2 years, Ghana exported to European countries agricultural produce when commodities they are buying.
Of the Ministry of Transport, Irene Mesiba, said the ministry is currently developing an e-mobility to guide the deployment and scale-up of electric vehicles.
We remain resolute and committed to the promotion of a sustainable and environmentally responsive transport system. It is perhaps one of the most urgent and critical measures that can guarantee a net zero emission future. In respect of the road transport services, our focus is mainly on technological shifts away from petrol and diesel fuels to a more benign alternatives. We are currently developing an e-mobility policy.
Transition is important, therefore the need for steps to be taken to make the earth sustainable.
The energy transition is very important, as the director already said. We didn't move from the stone age because there were a lack of stones. We didn't move from the iron age because there was no more iron. Obviously, there's going to be oil resources, but we still have to transition because our earth is dying due to climate change, and we need to make steps to ensure that we can make our earth sustainable. We do recognize that it is important for us to engage people right from the beginning. We know that in some places where energy transition has happened, some people are of the opinion that it doesn't relate to us common people. It is the airlines people who are pushing this agenda. But that is not true. Energy transition is going to affect everybody because the fuel you use in your motor today, we are saying we want to use that, change that fuel to something else. So how is it going to impact you? So it's necessary for us to, from beginning, engage everybody, and that is the reason why we are here.
Away from that, energy analysts in a 10-year assessment report of Ghana's petroleum production have stated in clear terms the need for sustainability in the form of governmental projects. By the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, the annual budget funding amount has lingering questions with regards to its impact on the general public. This follows several project tours at some funded below standards and specification. The audit could also focus on sectoral allocations in line with requirements of the Petroleum Revenue Management Act (PRMA) and the Public Financial Management (PFM) Act. There is a strong requisite human resources and tools to undertake the critical mandate of petroleum revenue management more effectively and efficiently. Meanwhile, the report found that the Bank of Ghana, the Auditor General, the public interest and relevant provisions of the PRMA. On the other hand, the Ministry of Finance, Parliament, the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation have demonstrated meaningful progress in implementing the relevant provisions of the law. Who said the projects being funded by the AFSPA will mean nothing if they are not self-sustainable. He spoke earlier on the marketplace.
Some impact has been made. US Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund has been quite significant, something in the region beyond $5 million. So then it means that eventually the investment will be able to pay for itself, which has received AFSPA funding from 2011. The impact is difficult to measure it because if you look at, for example, allocated to the sector, but yet we were recording a negative growth in agri. And then also we had to import food as a country, even though so much was going into the agricultural sector.
All right.
I mean, it seems to have impacted quite a lot. But the challenge with it is that how sustainable it is still, looking at the volatile nature of the petroleum revenue and the fact that we only have 3, arrived at the conclusion that the impact of AFSPA over the period has not been significant, and it is the more reason for which the call is made that we should go back and look at the allocation and the implementation. Well, the future it's before us. The energy transition has come, and it is something that we can take advantage of. We can build our national oil company very strongly and reposition it in such a way that when the national oil company is able to come in strongly and then take advantage of the endowments that we have as a country.
All right.
Then also there are rich lessons that we can learn from what we have done in the past 10 years.
You're still watching Business Live. Still to come in the bulletin, we have the Joy Business shopping list where we tell. Impact of increased fuel prices on their capital. Engaging traders at Makola, my colleague Emma Davis finds the prices of some foodstuff there are through the roof. They're expensive. There's more in today's episode of Joy Business Shopping List. Take a look.
It's a sunny day at Kwasteja, so in Accra, and I'm here to get this.
And this is 20 cedi, and this is 12 cedi, this is 10 cedis. The full one is 40 cedis.
Is this how you've been pricing it since, or there has been an increase?
Since.
Why is your price always constant?
Because if you change the prices, no one will buy it from you.
This one is 3 cedi for 20 instead of 21.
But why will you increase your price from tomorrow?
Government increase the fuel prices. So I will increase my willy.
My bono 10 cedi. Yeah, make a crown.
25. Yeah, 20. And I rubber so 35. Yeah, 30.
For 1 cedi, obi ton dia, obi ye aduane ton, obi dan to akoton. This autumn has seen it. If it's something to come up, say for 1 cedi. Season food. I know they are season crop.
The demand 25. When so 7 cedi, me demand 5. So be bad. Na ento ade me demand when so 10, 15. Me demand 5 cedi, 5 cedi. Me ma me demand me sa 10 cedi. When so 2 cedi, me demand me sa 5 cedi. Anyone 1 cedi there, so 3 me demand 2 cedi. And anybody do?
My 15. And also 100. Yeah, you know, I give you 15. Kako 1 cedi. I don't know but I need 20. I put 10 cedi. Go be me 5. And I'm more back 2 cedi. And I 2 cedi. And I'm more back 7 cedi. More back 5 cedi. And I'm more be so back 15.
1.5 liters near 15 cedis. 750 near 7 cedi 50 pesos. And medium near 23.
We say we are 40. First nanka 30. For 25. About 30. Is 40. We say we are 30. Munto. But tomorrow we are 30. A brolon got 12 cedi. We are 3 cedi. 15 cedi solonka. Back
wake. Ni woba ska boni wake ba je na kan craji boni woba na e wobe wake more than the previous one wake na kan ji boni e ba government fa ni e ba me how feel because it's too much.
Of course, that was our Joy Business Shopping List. I believe this could guide you your way through the various markets.
Today, we would look at the factors which affect the prices of stocks. The economic factors generally. With the economic factors, the economic outlook of an investor can influence the prices that they would prospect of an economy. Where a company operates as positive in the long run, they are likely to increase their bid in terms of the price for a stock. Otherwise,
and that'll be it for the bulletin. My name is Charles Aite. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. Many thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs.